Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making this delicious fish sauce, so let's get cooking. I'm starting off with my fresh mackerel fish, which is our star ingredient for this recipe. This fish is also called Titus in Lagos State, and I think some other western states in Nigeria. But whilst I was growing up in Benin City, Edo State, we used to call this Kubian. I honestly don't know where that name came from, but I grew up calling this fish Scubian, and it stuck for the most part. So when I make fish sauce, I usually would opt for the fresh rather than the smoked mackerel fish, and that's only because it allows me flavor the fish the way I want and just gives the sauce a burst of flavors eventually. But you can always opt for the smoked mackerel. It's a very good alternative. So you want to let this cook for about 10 minutes, 5 minutes on each side, just so you ensure that it is evenly cooked on both sides. Once your fish is properly cooked, you want to take it off the heat, but you want to preserve the stock because you need it for the sauce. And then comes the hard part of this recipe. So you want to debone your fish and shred it. So for this part, you could make use of 2 forks like I'm doing in this video, or you could make do with your hands. Really, I find that using your hand is a simpler and easier method because it allows you get into the fish and get all the bones out in less time. But then if you do not want to get your hands messy, or you're making this for a client, you could wear gloves and then use your hands, or you could just make do with the fork. Normally I would use my hands for this, but I needed to show you guys that you could also make use of 2 forks whilst deboning your fish. So this requires patience because you have to take your time to take out all of the bones so you do not ruin the eating experience of the sauce. And when you are done taking out all of your bones, your fish should look like this. So now we get into the cooking process. So when I make fish sauce, I like to flavor my oil with rosemary or parsley or even curry. Now the fresh leaves are a better alternative, but if you cannot get them, please do not hesitate to use the dried ones. And then you want to fry your onion for just a bit till your kitchen smells heavenly. When I make fish sauce, I like to blend my tomato in 2 ways. So one part of it is almost really smooth, and then the other part is like roughly blended. So the major reason why I do this is just because of preference, because the smooth one gives it like a stewy consistency, and then the roughly blended one gives it like a sauce kind of consistency. I do not like to add water in my fish sauce, so hence the reason for the smooth tomato base. But you could just opt for the roughly blended one, and you would need to add water later to loosen up the texture, or you could opt for the smooth one and then you don't need to add water, but the fish sauce just looks really stewy, and like I said, it's just preference. So I seasoned my tomato a little because I need the seasoning to cook with the tomato. If you're a salt person at this point, like I always say, please do not hesitate to add sauce to taste. I added some paprika and I'll just let that fry for about 10 minutes, after which I would add in my fish stock. So this has been frying for about 10 minutes, and I just need to add in my fish stock so everything becomes brotherly. And then I'll leave it to fry for another 10 minutes, or just until the oil starts to float over the tomato. I will leave all the ingredients and measurements that I used for this recipe in the description box below, so you can check that later. At this point, the stew base is ready, and we just need to add in our star ingredients, which is our shredded fish. See, at this point, trust me, you're already salivating. No cap, like the kitchen or something else. So you want to mix that all up, and you want to just leave that on medium heat just for about 3 minutes, just so the fish absorbs all of the flavors and everything in the stew. And after that, this is like ready. I like to add fresh curry leaves when I make fish sauce, but you could leave yours like without the leaves. You could even add pumpkin, that's ugu leaves. You literally could add anything at this point, parsley or whatever you like, and you can have this fish sauce with just about anything. You could have it with yam, you could have it with boiled potatoes, boiled plantain, and even rice. See, if you have this tea with rice, hey god, if you have this tea with rice, it is a banger. Let me know, guys, if you like fish sauce like me, and let me know if you are gonna try this recipe. Bye.